Hello, everybody. I am Brandon Carey. Joining me, as always, is Alduin
Hi, what's up?
and Anaphysic.
Hi.
And today we are going to continue our playthrough of Alpha Protocol. When we last
What's
left
that
off.
beeping noise?
All right, email.
We had just done the thing with the fight with Oman Dang, right?
Yeah, and then we did the mission in the mansion where you do we have the sniper rifle.
Oh right, yeah.
Yeah, so today we've the CIA and NSA missions,
Yeah. You know,
and then probably Marbury's mansion.
when in Rome. I don't know what you're doing in Rome. I've never been. Sure, we'll forward it to Mina to investigate. That sounds like a good choice. Trapped in Taipei, and of course, we'll blackmail Halbeck with this money.
See, if you started the next mission in the last safe house, A, you wouldn't have this again, and B, you wouldn't be making different choices than you made at the end of the last episode.
You know, it doesn't matter. Not really.
But being able to send that email to investigate to Mina to investigate is actually one of the interesting things doing that mission first. If you happen to do that mission third of these three, there's not enough time to get a response back from Mina before you go into the mission.
Yeah. Okay. That makes sense.
Oh.
So should we do the NSA intelligence or the CIA listening post? They're both pretty short missions, so let's do the CIA listening post.
That's a bigger mission, so you have that mission for dinner, and then you go to the NSA for dessert.
Yeah. Nice gelato.
I'm in.
And I already forgot the controls because it's been that long.
What was it, 3 weeks?
Yes.
You know,
and I've been playing a lot of Hitman in the meantime.
Will do.
Oh.
Alright, yeah, okay, fair enough. But I also literally booted up Alpha Protocol last night to check some particular triggers of things, which I'll talk about during this mission and a mission. And I remembered all the controls, so and I hadn't played it in months. But then again, I also had a couple months of playing a different game, a different video game, to train me incorrectly. For instance, after you knock out this guy, I will let you know you cannot put his clothes on.
I was gonna remember what's the button to switch to tranquilizer darts now.
Try X.
There we go. No, there we go. There we go. Now.
Yep.
Now we can safely shoot people, which is a very valuable thing to have.
You can safely shoot people. Can you not actually kill anybody in this mission, or is that?
No,
you
there's
get
different...
you get a -1 from Mina every time you do.
Which,
oh right, I remember that now.
Is actually pretty funny. So I also replayed through the mansion mission because I wanted to test something out. You can shoot the guest for absolutely no reason whatsoever. Well, okay, you get a perk for it, but it's a pretty pointless perk. But you can do this, and Mina comments on it, but she actually doesn't give you negative rep for it.
That's weird.
I know, it's so
crazy. It makes
crazy.
sense for this one because, spoiler, she is a CIA operative.
No, she's an NSA operative.
So it makes sense because you're kind of killing her homies.
They're all suits, right? So. Whatever.
Well, actually, the NSA and the CIA have a significant rivalry, as shown in the emails that you will find from bugging the NSA servers, where the NSA agents actually get really upset that the CIA is given the intel on presumably Mike Thornton, a rogue operative, codenamed Georgia, operating in their sector, and that intel is given to the CIA because CIA handles foreign relations, and the NSA is upset about it because the intel came from an NSA operative, and they're like, oh, we should have been the ones to get that. And actually, that email and the email that we're going to get on the third floor of this building are ones that I want to talk about.
Jurisdictional issues are the best, aren't they?
because they're very similar emails. Like they might indicate like some secret
Accessing
actions
the
of people
database. Downloading
in the game,
software.
or they might not. It kind of depends. Like
Listening in on the listening post. Gotta love
information within them kind of fits with certain things, but how they they always show up. They basically always show up, whereas they should not show up if actually caused by certain characters. Namely, like specifically, I have like a pet theory, I guess. So on the top floor of this building, we're gonna enter an email that lists like a CIA contact who is like unknown but claims to be a deep mole, and gave the proper verification codes, but otherwise they don't know who the fuck this person is. They told the CIA that, or actually, I think it specifies he actually told the CIA that there's this rogue operative operating in the area and might be connected to the Saudi Shahid incident as well. And that's the code name Georgia. And I think we're supposed to believe that that's Mike Thornton. I mean, that makes sense. There's the rogue operative. But who's the person that contacts them? Like a person who knows the CIA codes and that claims to be a deep mole, but doesn't actually show up in any of the records. That actually sounds a lot like Stephen Hack.
It could also be Mina herself.
It could also be Mina, but they have the CIA stuff. It could also be someone just in Alpha Protocol, just like sending out the stuff. Although it seems more like the CIA takes it as more like we're not sure how we should take it. Like we shouldn't just immediately go after this person. Like maybe we should be on the lookout for them, but maybe we need to extend professional courtesy. Like we don't know what's going on. There might be some Black Ops thing going on. So it could be Mina sending kind of professional courtesy interference type stuff.
Good items in this mission. Like I just got Mark III silencer from.
Yeah, I believe you always get the silencer, and you also get a random top level armor bot. Like I got the carbide matrix or something like that the first time I went through this.
Yeah,
which is like
you're not sure what it's going to be, but it's going to be high level.
Introduction.
It's going to be like a high level version of that item.
Which does actually make it sound like maybe they intended this to be hub number 3, but I did it most recently as hub number 1 and ended with endgame gear.
Yeah. The letters
it doesn't actually matter that much. But...
to you. I mean, silencer is a negligible like +2 attack, which in the grand scheme of things doesn't really matter.
But you can get very good armor modification at least. It's just random.
He doesn't know what the phrase AP means. It means armor piercing, idiot.
Armor piercing.
What else could it mean? And
Advanced
someone
placement?
is using their corporate email to send
Advanced placement.
Yeah.
Yeah, I got a 5 on my AP Spycraft. What about you guys?
Control room's locked from the inside.
I feel like we'd be way too far into the gold to CIA pipeline if that was an actual thing.
I'll think of something.
I remember this.
Looks like an air gun.
Oh,
I love
I
this
wasn't.
line.
Trick.
I forgot I wasn't supposed to talk about that. That's right.
Mike, don't kill them.
Just giving them a scare. A little something I learned in
In third period science.
I'm not. What does he actually like? What does he do to the thing? Actually, does he just break a motor or something?
It sounds like he just smokes them out.
I know, but what is the? Like, I've never actually figured out what the thing is.
Like what he's doing to the air duct to make it smoke him out.
Yeah.
Maybe like overheating it or shorting it.
Yeah, maybe electrical short kind of makes more sense.
You could just throw in a smoke grenade into the ventilation. That would work.
I don't have any smoke grenades on my inventory,
there are no smoke grenades available.
That's
Sorry,
lame.
buddy. But yeah, that would actually be a good environmental way of doing this. It's kind of funny that you don't have to do that, because if you start the alert, they break out trying to kill you. You have to do this anyway.
Oh my god, the codes are right next to each other. That's cool.
Anyway, this terminal is the one with this Georgia email. The first Georgia email, I should specify. This is the one with the CIA.
1811. From Curveball, claims our rogue is operating in Taiwan. Great. Okay. Really narrows it down. A lot of help that is. The drill though. Start filtering and snooping. Okay. Yeah, I can see why you think it was BB Stephen Hackett.
Well, check the fourth email, undisclosed Georgia. Yeah, that second email only shows that you've already been to Taiwan. If you haven't, it doesn't.
Oh, okay.
Rabid.
It's the quote unquote deep mold valid code. Like just contact being unverified. No, I think that probably makes it more likely that it's someone inside Alpha Protocol that does it.
Yeah, because that's where all the secret stuff happens, and like it's the big agency that this whole game is named after.
Yeah, but I mean, for instance, like their last line, they're not even sure in case this is one of ours, right?
Yeah.
So, well, I guess that maybe that means in case it's one of our people who's gone rogue and we need to take them down. But I think it's more like we should be cautious about this rather than very gung ho. Like in case, which I don't know, maybe they know about there being deep programs. Anyway, you'll get a very similar one later on after the NSA mission. And that one has the person contact using an NSA verification code. The code's out basically.
Perk acquired professional courtesy.
Yeah, so there's 3 perks you can get through this. You can go through it like New Dark Cloud just did, like kind of non-lethal, take down people and get professional courtesy. You can do it like Alduin did in Disclosure Alert, which was he grabbed his gold-plated assault rifle and shot everybody in the building, and then forgot to unequip it for the next mission. That was pretty funny.
Yeah.
And then there's a third way to do it where you actually ghost through it.
Yeah, I have done that before. I just don't feel like doing that on stream because that's hard.
Not actually. It's not that hard. I mean, I did it last night, but yeah, and that one gets you under the radar, and that one's particularly cool and fun because you listen in on this listening post. You probably want to infiltrate, by the way.
See if you can get an ID badge number from the office.
Yeah, because you get to listen post, and they don't even know that you were there.
Doing it on company time. I have the workstation called up.
See, that's the way
but certainly, if you want to piss Marburg off, you want to make as much noise as possible, which I think is what Cloud's doing.
Porn star.
Yeah. These insights into your life are terrifying.
Got a picture?
When in Rome, burn to the ground. Absolutely, I agree 100%.
Oh, you didn't choose porn star. Oh, that's unfortunate.
No, I think I'd remember.
So says you.
If she's tied to Marburg, I think we've got.
I forgot if that pissed me off or not.
No.
Mina can be fickle sometimes, but easy to bring back up.
Well,
I feel like
I'm almost surprised that there's not as soon as Mina puts it up on the thing and she says kind of like bitterly, she's pretty. I'm surprised that doesn't. I'm surprised the game just doesn't give Mina a -1 just for no reason. Just mandatory -1 just because she's upset.
So we can contact Albara. You go. It's totally Jabril Albara, totally him, and no one else. Couldn't possibly be.
Well, go check your email.
Oh yeah, we should probably do that first.
Mina will have replied. For what it's worth,
We're also
I
not doing
believe
that. We're gonna go to a gelato shop first. Get some ice cream.
Oh right. Yeah, that was a good mission.
Well, technically, it's not ice cream, but.
Oh, we got a new vendor.
When in Rome, get local customs wrong.
Perfect. I mean, it's called Italian ice for a reason.
Because you kill the person, like to ice them, right?
Yeah, perfect. Exactly. Flawless logic.
Yeah, this is one where you can directly blackmail Leland. There's another time before, but yeah, if you send it to him, he gets angry.
Denies it. Okay, these are interesting emails. Riots in Taipei, so for some reason I guess the American government will of course be interested in this. Leland file you wanted. So this gives us intel on this gives us more Leland intel.
So that's actually pretty funny. Like apparently, so there are 3 Americans got killed in the riots in Taipei, and that doesn't spark off like huge problem. But when 1 American gets killed in Rome, as may happen, or maybe I don't know, a couple thousand. It depends on which choice you. But it's possible for just 1 to be killed, and that that sets off everything.
So for some
I always
reason,
felt that was pretty weak. We'll get to that.
for contacting Gilbrio Albara, there's a dossier entry for Marburg you can buy. I don't know why that would be, since we are contacting Albara and not Marburg.
Yeah, and what did the email from Mina said? Like, I believe it is his address.
Yeah, it is his address.
But like, he's recently been seen at a train station, and so it seems a little suspicious that he would be saying, "Hey, come and meet me," if he appears to be fleeing the area. So I believe what it actually is that's a fake email sent from his confiscated email address, and he did try to flee because he's like, goodness, there's people gonna try and shoot me, and there's people waterboarding my compatriots, which one of the CIA emails reveals that. So I better GTFO. And Marburg catches him before that and says, "Oh, you've been compromised." And Albara's like, "Yeah, I gotta get out of the country." And Marburg's like, "But I could just shoot you." And so Marburg does that.
Silencer Mark III.
But Marburg had problems with maintaining proper assets.
That's a way of putting it, I suppose. I should probably buy more SMG ammo because it looks like I was low on the last mission. No, I'm thinking about it.
Mr. Marburg never was the best judge of character, nor did he instill much loyalty.
And of course, whenever you do use SMGs, you use a lot of ammo.
Yeah. I think 1,800 rounds is enough. Just enough, so I don't have to do any more shopping later.
I'm sorry, it just seems so ridiculous because, like, let's see, how much ammunition do I use on like an average playthrough? Probably like 10 bullets or something.
Yeah.
You just punch everybody.
Yeah.
So let's have some gelato.
This mission is great. I like this mission a lot.
This mission is great.
Oh, this is amazing. Yeah. I almost wish that you could go to some of these hubs first before, like, imagine if Saudi Arabia wasn't there, or you could go to these missions. And this was someone's very first mission. That would be amazing.
So why even put this place in the back of a gelato?
You want to be suave if you can, by the way.
Is this
Sorry.
an excuse to justify a 5
Just at the very beginning, I don't care about the others. Specifically suave because it gives you some information about this place that actually like sets up the gelato shop as a reasonable place for you to be visiting, for the NSA to have a station here. So it actually, it justifies itself in a very good way. For the rest, it doesn't matter. I don't care what you do. Pretty much every line of dialogue here is.
I'm not entirely unconvinced that I shouldn't just waste the fool.
Don't play games, Mike. These guys are trained to spot double agents and imposters. If their post is compromised, they'll shut it down, and we'll lose our access. You'll also need to give the correct handshake code to identify yourself as an agent.
I will state that unless...
What are we, the Shriners?
So it is impossible to get through this mission without either killing him or
using the correct phrase.
saying the pass.
Yeah.
Saying
I've
the
done
pass
that. I've done it.
And
What?
I've done it before.
Wait,
yeah. It's been a while, but I have done it.
you've gotten through without using the passcode at all?
Yeah.
I don't mean specifically. I don't mean choosing the option that says passphrase. I mean saying the passphrase at all.
Yeah, 2 words, horse porn all over your computer.
Yes, and then the next dialogue option, no matter which of the honest, whatever, like honest bluff, something or other. I think it is. No matter which one of those is in there, might still say the passphrase. Let's go ahead and try it.
I'm here to fix.
Although if you do it after choosing horse porn, he tips you off, and then he's tipped off to you, and so he's gonna draw a shotgun on you.
But if you don't let me install the security update, oh man, you are not gonna like what this season's hot new virus does. 2 words, horse porn, all over your computer.
Who did you say you work for?
Mike, what are you doing? Give him the code.
Relax, I know what I'm doing.
Who are you talking to?
No one. I hear the Adirondacks are beautiful.
Okay, yeah, he says the code. Shit.
I don't like the mountains.
Well, in this case, it was because you were honest. But
No, I
if you had chosen...
quickly hit suave at the last minute.
Oh, okay. Well,
say.
Oh yeah, right. You did say no one. Yeah, yeah. No matter which one you do, you do end up saying the passcode. By being honest, there you reduce his suspicion somewhat. So there's a suspicion mechanic where like a couple of them increase it and a couple of them decrease it. So in this case, he's probably just going to pull the shotgun and try and attack you. He's going to look down real quick and then look back up.
Looks like he didn't buy the story. I'll see
Yeah,
what I
there
can
you
pull
go.
off the computers and head back to the
Whereas
city.
if you had chosen honest there or had chosen professional the first time, the passphrase the first time, you get to go back to a little bit and have back to the computers and have another little dialogue. And there is a way to get through it without them actually knowing it. So we're going to get an email after a mission of this where it's very similar to undisclosed Georgia CIA one, but it's from the NSA. It's going to say very similar things, and when we get it, I'll mention that, specifically relevant to the fact that you have to say the passphrase in that mission.
Yeah.
So...
The way you're describing the way that, like, you know, the suspicion mechanic, it reminds me of the way certain like maybe the way Deus Ex, like Human Revolution, handles the like boss conversations where you like, or what was another? You're trying to get them to reach a certain emotional state that will let you through.
Yeah. Like with
Etc. Ask if it's possible to not murder the terrible gelatoist,
yes,
which I assume is the correct.
It's super possible. I just didn't do it.
It's super possible. New Dark Cloud may have intentionally did it, although the best way to intentionally do it is just to choose execute as soon as you see it.
Yeah, you could just fucking waste the fool right out the gate for some. Because I love the game that you do that, even though you really shouldn't.
Yeah, but the best one. Well, I think we talked about it like in Disclosure Alert that we would love if there were just more options like that where there's just an execute one in every dialogue.
Button.
Just every dialogue, and you wouldn't choose it, 99% of the time, but just it being there and being, basically what happens is conversation ends and people react to it or just things get cut off in the world, right? Like that's just fine, right?
So if memory serves, Marburg hates suave responses, right?
Marburg will hate any suave or any aggressive response. Basically in this dialogue option.
Okay, so we're probably just gonna mash the A button for most of this. Cause I remember I thought there was exactly one where like suave wasn't the answer to piss him off.
I've never been stood up in my life.
Someone has a
yeah.
I'm just stating
So
facts.
far.
Sorry.
Okay, yeah.
Switch off the transmitter.
Or you can just be aggressive right up until you have the bluff option,
You open fire
and then
in
go
here, it's
bluff
gonna be
and
a lot
persuade
worse
for
you,
full minus.
trust me.
Or you can be full suave and then choose threaten after Conrad's like, in less than a day's time, you've already managed to mess up all my plan.
Why?
Broadcast? I thought I was being more subtle than that.
We can change the durag and the lager beard if we wanted to. We just wanted to look as ridiculous as possible.
Yeah.
Actually, you left the trail.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, it's him disguising his face. It's important to have that layer of protection there, so no one knows who he looks like underneath the beard.
Underneath the swimming goggles.
Interesting.
And the
Considering
do-rag.
I would have expected you to
Yeah,
say
Also, I love that the beard
just-
keeps poking in and out of his ears.
If you think you're the first,
Just sort of clear, like we originally had the backwards baseball cap, and then we switched to the Ushanka, and the Ushanka replaces the durag. And so as soon as we went to Rome, this happened to us in Disclosure Alert too.
Yeah.
We got stuck in the durag, but you can change it at any time. You just
I mean, I could. I'm not going to, but I absolutely could.
oh, I know. You could change it any time, but you've just been
I'm guessing
firmly
you're
attached
from the
to
fire
this
you
durag.
have,
Yes.
Anything else you need
We
to
must
say?
make Thornton as douchey as possible.
Indeed.
And who believes in carrying their missions through.
Is that so odd?
In today's day and age.
Fuck!
Oh.
I got a plus.
Yeah, it's because I wanted to warn you about this. You've been doing too many professional options.
The German mercenarian.
Oh, is that something? I couldn't avoid that.
Uh-huh.
Okay.
But yeah, it was. You could have just been more angry
She was a little insistent. We get
or
together.
been more
I am not
piece of shitty, I
surprised.
guess.
She is a mercenary, but hardly professional or discreet, it seems.
Yeah, otherwise you'll if
you
you've
were boss,
it's just
I
based on
understand why.
if you've chosen the most aggressive professional as well.
In her training, I
If you her boss, I understand why she's
So you've
unprofessional.
done your homework. Congratulations.
Yeah, you're definitely always same generic
I
white
know
dude,
you are
etc.
too. You're Leyland's right-hand man. His
You
back-
have different shades of white. You can be pale to
Chief of
sunburnt.
Security,
Can you?
as of a year ago.
Yeah, you can be from
I didn't
you can be from pale to sunburnt.
Yeah.
Ah, yes.
You're always
When
you know,
need be.
Mike Thornton.
Considering how
Or Thornton.
public your actions have been.
I think we actually meant to go back and customize Thornton to be paler in Taiwan because that is the vampire section. We did mess that up.
What happened to Albara?
Oh, etc. No, yeah, you're always generic white dude, Mike Thornton.
His use to me was at an end. In less than a day's time.
Although I'm not sure, maybe in the original plan they had more of a character creation scheme, but I'm not sure.
Look, old man, you can talk big all you want, but at the end of the day, you're
Mind they totally could have made
you answer to a cardboard
Mina Dang the
cutout
main
half your
character, or
age
Mina
with the
Thornton, if we
fashion
will.
sense of a screaming child. He spends thousands on
Because
his
she goes through.
He
You know,
spends
the same arc,
thousands
just
on his
have-
fucking hair.
Yep, yep.
What I don't understand though is why we're talking at all.
The worst part is he probably actually does.
I don't know. It might be a low ball. Actually, now we know why Halbeck is having such money problems.
I suspected that reaction. I believe you have nowhere to go for help. In that situation.
Wouldn't that be great if you like if one of these plots was to like create instability in a region next to like some hair pomade producer, so that they'll like they basically go out of business and then get bought up by some rival company, and then you know he or, like so that maybe he could buy up this rival company, buy up this company that makes hair gel just so that he can get it cheaper. That'd be actually be great actually if there were some of these that were just really really petty.
Yeah.
That would be a great way of showing villainy in a character. I mean, like, I prefer practical villainy in more cases because it's much more interesting and much more realistic. But a few instances of really petty villainy is actually a good way to sell some hate for a character.
What you do next is up to you, but there are only two immediate choices. Leave, you live. Stay, you die.
I just want to point out that apparently Twitch Automod thinks that plotter is a sexual term.
Leyland's never seen the world outside of the boardroom or an air-conditioned limo.
In that, on that last case, you should have hit persuade to get the full negative. By the way.
Oh,
of course.
Yeah.
He provided a goal, another provided a plan, I provided the means.
So, etc. As etc. points out that he dislikes Marburg's voice as just being a rumbly, whispery bad guy. It's mediocre. Well, the thing is, like, Marburg is not the top bad guy. He's actually an underling bad guy, and part of Marburg's story is that he's the dragon, but also he's like the really like fairly jaded old dragon. Like in some ways, he's kind of going through routine, and he's just fooled himself into thinking like, this is fine. This is fine.
Yeah, he's that dog from that one meme.
Yeah.
I mean, there are plenty of characters in this game that are meant to be like a lot less generic than he is. Like he's the generic on purpose, sort of. If that makes sense. Chief of operations for the BCI.
Although we'll get to see when we go to his mansion, we'll see some more of his personality, like the ostentatiousness and everything. For that mission, I'd recommend that you either take Madison or Mina as your handler, because we've already seen Z.
I'll probably take Madison.
Okay, that's a good choice. There's one really good line of dialogue for Mina in that mission, but I'll just
Although we will miss putting the bitch through, which, you know, that's a great line.
We can just link to it.
I also like that even though even though Mina doesn't outwardly judge you for choosing Madison over her, she still gives you the -1 ding.
Oh yeah.
This woman entered the picture not long after your meeting with Marburg. She was in our office in Rome.
I really like the little facial twitch that they do in Mike for just like a split second.
They do it a couple times throughout these interviews too. Like whenever he's clearly unable to lie, or like when something clearly affects him.
But it allows you to, you know, think how it affects him.
Yeah.
But
yeah,
it's that part. It tells you that
it's just a really good moment.
It's that time where it says that part stung, or that one particularly stung Leyland.
And it's just for a brief flash, and it just requires like it's just a standard facial animation that they have, but it's how they direct it that makes it work.
Asking for you by name.
She can't be.
It's
I know
stuff like
it's-
that that really makes me think
Unless this is
like
trap. Who is she calling?
the graphics are not the best or whatever, but I think they sell a lot of characters.
We talked about this.
Yeah.
These were dated even the time. These were dated looking graphics, but
Why?
I mean, it
the
looks
game-
fine.
The
right?
game is fine.
I mean,
It looks
it's
fine.
not a it's not like Telltale Walking Dead facial animations, which I remember being very good.
Hello?
But it's still quite good. Like, it still sells the emotional weight of it.
No, Miss St. James. This is Michael Thornton.
Oh, thank God. Mr. Thornton.
But I know I've mentioned this before, but those conversations with Leland as a framing device
How do you know
are,
my name and why are you
I feel
calling?
like they're really well done, and like
I also
Cool.
love that like Madison
like-
St. James is like the world's biggest coincidence.
Oh, yeah.
Like she's a like a coincidence magnet for exactly how many things just had to perfectly align for her to be in that situation.
I still have to hail a cab.
I'll have one sent to your cross streets.
Oh, okay.
I'll see you soon, Miss St. James.
I don't know how much we talked about her yet so far, but like it's really hard to overstate how like her just being in Rome at this exact time makes everything go wrong for so many different people.
And like the fact that she ends up using Alan Parker's workstation,
Yeah,
presumably entirely by accident, because she didn't even know that he worked for the company.
yeah. They should happen to be assigned to that workstation randomly.
And Marburg doesn't know this. Like Marburg explicitly doesn't know this. He can find out in the end game and be
Yeah.
totally surprised by it.
Oh, we should probably check our emails before we head off and see if there's any intel to buy on Miss St. James.
There is, and you want it. By the way, you missed a joking option where she goes operator, and Mike goes operative. Actually, yeah. So here's the one from the NSA. Someone claiming to be a deep mole rogue U.S. agent,
Yeah. This one heads up on.
but the
board
mole
now.
gave a verification code. Now that one, so actually, it makes it sound like it could just be the same person, and I guess it does. But one possible thing that it could have been, if say this email wasn't sent to you in this case because Gelato Man was dead, you give the NSA passcode to the Gelato guy. So if the Gelato guy survives, it'd be pretty funny if he then goes, talks to the NSA, gives that as the passphrase to prove himself, and then relays information that Mike Thornton's. So he'd possibly do that if he was working with VCI.
I also love this
that's
line.
that's a possible origin for this.
Nobody
takes
takes my
away with
money and gets away with it. Because this is Leland getting blackmailed directly from our
it. Yeah,
last,
yeah. That's the one I was talking about. Yeah.
yeah.
Nobody takes my hair gel money and gets away with it.
He spends thousands on his fucking hair. And we'll buy this intel on Madison St. James.
Also, there's a pretty interesting little, I guess, moral bit here. So you get, from tapping the CIA intel, you get information on Leland. That was one of the earlier bits. So it was one of the first ones we got. Where the CIA talking to each other and is like, "Boy, aren't you great? Isn't it great that we're allowed to spy on U.S. citizens now?"
Yeah,
But here's that info. Here's that intel on the Leland guy that you want, and you use that
Hey,
intel
you're next.
to help take down Helbeck. So you end up using intel that was not appropriately collected
Let's
against
discuss
it, which is its own little like alpha protocol working against itself thing, which ties in
Start
like,
at the beginning, and
you
don't
know.
edit yourself.
Judging
I think
by
the game could have had a
background-
bit more discussion of it.
Judging by the background
Yeah.
noise, I believe the Eagles scored a touchdown.
Contractor.
I can tell because my mom is watching football right now, and I,
I didn't
can
hear
hear
anything,
it.
so you're good.
So I checked it out, and your name came up several times in our database.
Yeah, it's playoffs
I'm a
time.
popular guy.
Yeah.
Maybe Marburg wanted to meet me.
It was cross-linked to several contracts within the VCI.
Oh, no.
Termination contracts.
But yeah, like it feels a lot of this game is like it's trying to.
Do you have the
There's a lot of
contracts?
depth
That'd be
to
valuable
like
evidence.
the writing and stuff, but it's not really.
That would have been too much
You have
to
to
hope
you have to
for,
go
I
looking
suppose.
for
No
it,
worries,
right?
we'll figure this out.
I wish
Like,
there was
it's
more
there.
in-game
I'm not sure
discussion
what
of
to
it.
do next.
Yeah.
Go to the authorities?
So you have all this
Is
stuff
there
in like the
someone I should
dossiers and the
notify?
emails and all this stuff, but you
Madison
can
did the
easily
right
skip
thing
through that
by
and
me,
just play
and I
this as
appreciate
just
it.
like an
Probably
action
shouldn't
stealth
have
game
accepted your call.
with
I think that
some
may make
spy
it
stuff
worse
going
for
on.
you.
For me,
And
I
it's
think I was a little more worried about you.
it's got a lot of
And I
potential in a
appreciate
lot
it.
of those systems, and
Do
it just
whatever I can to protect you.
ends up
You need to look out for
falling back on a
yourself
lot of
first.
what I feel are like
Mike,
more design tropes.
Marburg
Like
is going to try and kill
I
you.
really could not care
What are you
less
going to do?
about a lot of the
Miss St. James, you've
like the
only been
progression in
employed
this
by the
game.
ACI for a
It's
short
just not
time,
interesting.
and as Marburg's assistant.
Yeah.
That's an
And
important
it
position,
is this
especially
kind
for a
of
man
like
his influence.
I talk about this a lot with my friends, but the shot
It's a broad
reverse
study
shot
about history.
camera
When it comes
work
to paying the bills,
is
I
always
thought I would
so
apply for
dull
an
when it comes to video
administrative
games, and
assistant
this scene is
The
not
language
helping
skills
that.
helped.
Yeah.
VCI does a lot of work with foreign governments.
Especially when there's
My
no
point
emote, like
is,
there's
what
no
you
real
discovered is
emotes
sensitive
from these guys. They're just kind
information.
of
This could
mouth
prove
flapping.
dangerous for you.
I know.
Yeah, it can
I
get
need
better
this file.
sometimes.
As Exeter
But, like
pointed out in the
this is
chat.
very
CI branch office.
yeah, this is very
I
Mass
don't
Effect
know what
1-y.
you're looking
Yeah.
for, but the
And
VCI office
Bioware
in
put a lot of
Rome isn't
effort into
Marburg's
making that a
personal
lot more
office.
interesting
He does most of
cinematically
his
in
work
Mass Effect 2.
off-site, or when he travels.
Um, but this is very much just like shot, reverse
so
shot
where
in a
will
way
you
that's
store the information while in Rome?
He
I hope
I've
that
been
in
there
the future
several
game designers
times.
learn to kill
If the
this
files
this
exist, I'm guessing
framing,
they'd
the
be
shot
there.
reverse shot. Because
I mean, they're taking it from movies who also just intensely overuse
I hope
it.
movies
Like,
also kill shot reverse
I hope-
shot.
yeah,
It's
exactly,
a
like-
bad shot.
I can
it's a
give you the
basic
address
fundamental
and other information.
cinematography tool, right? So if it's the only way you can do conversations, that's not good, right? But
that's my fault.
it's not something
However,
that you
you
should
know
just
Marburg,
not do.
you know what we found.
Yes, you can. Etc. wants to 2 times the speed of this game, but yeah, you can hold down the mouse button to fast forward through things. Although I don't know if I don't think you get
You can't just double the speed of
subtitles in
unfortunately.
that
It's
case.
either you listen to it or you skip it.
Oh, yeah, you actually can. What you do is when we put this up on YouTube, you go settings, speed ×2, and then you just watch it like that.
What does that sound like to us?
I can get you the address to the villa.
So, yeah,
Games
like
I mean-
you need to search for.
I just do that for pretty much every video nowadays.
They're
Yeah.
talking about spies as if you're someone reading the phone book. Not
To be-
wrong, but
So I think that's a problem with Madison, but not with Mike, because actually, when you live in a world of spies and assassins, just as normal business, or people just trying to kill you all the time, sort of thing, that's just normal.
I was watching
Maybe
Into
it's
the
not
Spider Verse.
can even be-
they had,
Can even be boring.
I was
Yeah.
watching Into the Spider Verse, and they actually had a scene where like old Peter Parker was mentoring like Miles Morales, and he goes, the whole world stakes they get kind of boring after a while once you get the hang once you do this for a couple of years. So like he starts talking about the end of the world as if it's like something that's no big deal to him because he's done it so many times that it's basically not anymore.
yeah, and there's certainly elements of that in the conversations between Thornton and Madison.
Yeah.
Anything on the news?
I guess not. Nothing on the news.
But this game also doesn't do a great job of like the history of like Thornton, because like it's
Well, it's because your personal history is
so very
something
yeah.
that can change depending on
But
what
like
your
in
background.
Mass Effect 1, there's still a feeling like, oh, you've been in the business for a while. Like, you run into people you know, even,
Yeah.
and that kind of thing just doesn't seem to happen here.
Oh yeah, this is the Investigate Marburg mission. Do we have? Yeah, we have the secret entrance in the garden. That's what I wanted to see. We make sure we had. I love that it makes it puts Madison as your handler, even though you had the choice.
Oh yeah, that's also especially weird because you don't start with her as your handler.
Yeah.
That is the least interesting bonus perk.
Enemy side
I
range
can-
-5%. Yeah, it sure is. Does it compare to Mina's +15 endurance?
Yeah,
I
endurance
don't know.
is
The side range is actually fairly useful, I think.
yeah, it might
Not
be
necessarily
useful.
this
It's just
one,
not
but,
interesting. 5% is hard to.
I mean, actually, in fairness, all the perks in this game just flat out aren't that interesting.
There's
I mean,
just a lot of them.
The point is to be small so that you don't have to worry about them.
Yeah.
That's
You
actually
shoot-
part of it. I think that's a good design, actually, to have them be very small individually. That way you're not constantly thinking, okay, which perk do I want? Which perk do I want?
So,
Yeah.
I have an aggressive schedule over the next
The
few days.
the very best one of these, you could just hit attack, but all it does is lean forward and get shocked. And then Marburg goes, this conversation is over. And like, there was no conversation. You spoke a line at him and then shocked him and said this conversation is over.
Now, when you say specifics,
That was
do you mean flavor?
very funny moment.
Or...
You like to play games, Thornton.
I never played Malkavian in Bloodlines, unfortunately.
Miss me? What, are we done?
I guess I should do that at some point, but I feel like I'd miss a lot of the context because I never play it twice in rapid succession.
But I haven't provided the right incentive. That was 10,000 volts. Beat Mr. Thornton until he can no longer stand.
Yeah, it's something that's kind of not it's mostly
I love how he leaves the
undercurrent?
room before they've confirmed he's knocked out, like every bad guy from every TV show you've ever watched does.
Yeah. But it's a bit of an undercurrent of this mission and the prior Contact mission. But Marburg, even when Marburg hates Mike, he sees himself in Mike in a number of ways. Number one, just the baseline of Mike has been betrayed by his country, and Marburg was also burnt.
By a
back in
previous
the-
version of Protocol specifically too.
Yeah, specifically by Alan Parker, who was his handler at the time.
Yeah.
And that comes into the end game.
I can stay on the line.
Actually, it's funny enough that etc. seems that Marburg doesn't seem like a brother. He's actually one of the best
Oh
melee
fuck! I picked the
combatants.
wrong guy.
All right, Mike.
Oh, you
Okay,
chose
we're
Mina?
gonna restart the work. This is going to be the end of the recording because I don't actually want to play with Mina as my handler.
Okay. Alright.
Okay, that works. Oops.
Just load last safe house.
Load checkpoint. Last safe house. Yeah.
But it is worth noting that Marburg does have reasons for not killing. And sometimes, in some playthroughs, those reasons aren't as good because Marburg kind of dislikes Mike. But then, even in that case, he does want to turn Mike around. Like he constantly tries to get Mike as his protege.
Yeah.
He wants Mike as his Padawan, I guess. Slash maybe more.
Yeah, he considers him the younger generation. Which he is.
And a younger version of himself.
Yeah.
In mix. And one of the ways that you if you really piss him off, one of the ways you can really, really piss him off is by saying, or is the thing that really bothers you the fact that I didn't end up turning up exactly like you did when I was given the same circumstances.
I love that line. Yeah.
And Thornton's just, Marva's just like, I'm gonna end you, you bastard.
That's what we're trying to do. Yeah. That's the goal. That's the goal is to lure Marburg into that fatal duel.
Mike cannot become Marburg's protege, but Mike can make Marburg
respect him.
Become Mike's. Yeah, respect. He can turn Marburg.
Yeah. You can turn Marburg to your side in the end game, but we're gonna not do that. We're gonna instead kill him, or try to.
Because there's a lot of endings to this game, but I think you're always only actually finished it twice, so I'm trying to remember what the actual endings are. But you have to take down Leland and everything, right?
No, you can actually join. You can join with Leland.
Not really.
Okay, it's just silly. I guess
you can also join Leland and betray him at the last minute.
Yeah.
Yep.
And take Halbeck for yourself.
You can betray him in multiple ways at the last minute.
Everything you've discovered about our Rome operation. Specifics, please.
So,
you like to play
have we
games,
talked about how Marburg is implied to be gay?
Miss me?
No, we haven't. But you'll see that when you get when you take Madison on this mission. When you get to the statues, Madison has a comment that talks about that. Mina has a different comment, which I'll bring up just because it's hilarious. But only with Madison will you get that comment. And yeah, one of the implications is that may also be a reason that Marburg doesn't want to kill Mike because he likes Mike.
I guess that's that.
I think Marburg is more professional than that.
Mina, do you read me?
I mean, he's certainly not suave. It's true.
Yeah, but they've got me locked in. Can you override the security system?
I mean, he does it in the professional way.
It feels weird just to
just one
mention
of
it and
those
then do nothing with that detail, though.
Yeah.
There's a lot of loose threads in this game, just generally.
I can patch Madison through.
On the other hand, it's good that they don't. I think it's
Probably,
kind of good that
actually,
they don't,
yeah.
hype it up or push it. You know,
Probably.
like it's just a character, it's just a character detail.
It's your call.
I love that. Like I said before, if you choose C for this mission, you still get the -1 ding from Mina, but then she'll be more overt about how much she hates that choice.
Oh, it doesn't she give you a -2 actually?
I'm not really sure how much much I can
Oh,
help.
it could be -2.
You know this villain better than me.
But
Just tell me if there's
I love
something
that
should
even
know.
though like she's still not
Cameras,
outwardly catty about
explosives,
choosing
alarm
Madison over
dogs.
her,
Okay.
she's still pissed about it
Alright.
enough to give you a small ding.
Oh yeah.
So there's
Oh, yeah.
there's variance in how catty the
Yeah.
female characters end up being.
Which by the way, that means that the
Oh
equivalent
yeah.
that picking Madison over her is the equivalent
Shoot a
of killing an unarmed civilian.
Except for the ones at the mansion who she doesn't care about for some reason.
Yeah.
At the Albaraz estate, I don't know why she doesn't care.
Alright,
Maybe they just
I need to find my gear.
forgot about it.
Colony is ahead.
Like maybe they didn't realize. Like there's dialogue
sounds
before
interesting.
shooting those people, but like it's not a ton.
I feel like if they tried to put both of them on the line, that they would just end up bickering with each other the whole time. That was certainly the explanation for why Z and Mina couldn't work together.
Just be careful when you hit the speaker button.
Do I proceed? It depends. Is everything in place? Almost. There's a few last things that need to be taken care of.
It would be nice if there was a little difference between. It's just a dialogue difference between each of those. Like, unfortunately, they don't give you different routes through their.
Yeah.
Like
This is
Madison
a
does
very linear
explicitly point out.
sequence.
Madison does explicitly point out. I mean, there's at least one part here on you go through the middle room, or you can sneak around to the side, or you can do both for no reason. But Madison will explicitly point out that phone. I don't think Mina does.
I love
But it
that
would be
since you
great
don't
to get-
have your knife, you can't perform lethal takedown.
Oh yeah.
It's a cool little detail.
Yeah. But yeah, it would have been interesting if they designed it such that having different handlers does give you really different routes through, or different information. Like maybe you can't get that information from the phone, or maybe because you don't have Madison telling you be careful when you press the speakerphone, press pound and then whatever. Maybe that sets off an alarm when you get the intel or something. That would be a nice little detail. Yeah, you don't have to go the way that you're going.
Alright, and down you go.
I really feel like they could have positioned those cameras better, but I guess not.
Yeah, I mean, it's video games. It's video game cameras.
Yeah.
Actually, if you look at the textures of the cameras very carefully, you'll see that they're produced by Thornton Incorporated.
It's his secret. Yeah, it's his secret trick to doing everything. He just owns all the security cameras in the world.
Which
And
is why he
specifically
doesn't feel
designed
like
them with a design flaw.
Which is why shooting them triggers the alarms, because it makes him feel bad. So he has to tell on
Or
himself.
his children.
Yeah, these are definitely like oddly placed security cameras, but again, video games. You just don't question that kind of thing. All right, now we got our shit.
I feel like there are like sometimes security cameras in like some of these games where like it's a way of like you have to go around, right? So you can disable it later or disable all of them through something or use a tool like in BioShock. That's a thing. I don't know if they have cameras, but like remote hacking tools for turrets.
Whoops. I guess you'll die.
But there's
I guess you'll die.
like what is even the point of a camera if you can just walk around the field of view?
Oh, why didn't you just say so? I can kill you.
Well,
You're right, Alden. Cameras should see beyond their field of view.
they should have a wider field of view. They should be
Yeah, they
designed
should,
so that
yeah.
the field of view is
You
appropriate.
could also position them in a way where that doesn't matter, as well. Like that could have probably been in the corner and not like dead on. Hey, a sniper. Ouch. That looked like it hurt.
Down by the piano, you're going to want to look for Madison intel.
There's a piano, but no pianist.
Well, not on any of the statues. No.
Hey, he actually managed to get up to you. You could use the SMG for this.
I could, but really, it's not that.
Did you ever
hard.
actually go below? Did you ever lose all your endurance in that?
No.
We're on easy, and you have like max endurance because of the combat armor.
I have 130 endurance, yeah. So like, I'm
So
probably not gonna get hurt from the rest of the game.
it's very funny
Um.
because they're just walking up to you and shotgunning you in the
So
face.
what
And you're
about
just
the
like,
piano?
At the intel.
Okay.
yeah, we got it.
It's just easy to run through this room and miss it. You're gonna want to get all the intel so that you can learn Madison's secret fact because you wanted that.
You should be able to know roughly like what kind of mission it is from the description for the mission. Because like Mass Effect 2 does the same thing, where like, oh, you have a mission, and like you have a small contact mission, or you have like a longer mission.
Yes, that's the only little bit of
It feels weird that
hint
they
that you
chose,
get.
out of all people in this game to make gay, they chose Marburg specifically.
But the best part about bringing me down this mission is she has a different line there, and it's just between. It's not about Marburg. Only Madison can give you insight into Marburg because she works with them. Instead, Mina says, "What does this remind you of anyone?" And Mike says, "What does it remind you of anyone?" And Mina goes, "No, all my boyfriends came fully equipped." Mike goes, "What? Like, body armor, side armor, whatever." She's very funny, Mike. Very funny.
We chose the armor for this mission. Like, you choose before every mission, like, what you're going to wear. Like, I think that might be true for every mission, including the ones that are just conversations.
Yeah.
Like, you can go to a conversational mission wearing body armor. It's just,
Also, this
Some
is
of
why
them.
this is why I love playing this game with pistols, because
I
you
guess,
can just
I guess
make
there are some where you just always wear civvies.
There's specifically
precision, highly accurate shots through well into cover.
the Sergei Surkov mission. You can go in. It tracks what you are wearing into it. But most conversation missions, you just wear civvies and just by default, which is kind of funny, actually.
I love when enemies drop like $100. Like, what's that going to cover? The ammo I use to shoot you.
But it is worth noting that, like, Mina, this is not censored for video game purposes. Those statues do not have any decks on them in the game world, because Mina actually comments on that. So they are not very classical statues, or they're classical statues that have been defaced or something else. Yeah, Thornton does know whether he wears armor ahead of time or not. He does have magical powers, and your beard is always able to be seen by cameras and turrets, as you can see by the fact that it did not get binary invisibility. It's never gonna get old.
Well, these turrets are going down faster than they used to. It's nice.
A lot faster than punching them.
Yeah, we're gonna end relatively soon.
Relatively.
Once we get the next checkpoint, whatever that happens to be.
Oh, okay.
That's what I'm right now doing is looking for checkpoints, because I do know we need to wrap the call or wrap the recording up soon.
I feel like we should get one soon.
The game room's coming up. There's
Checkpoint
usually
reached.
two
Okay,
guards
great.
lounging in there.
See?
I hope
This felt like a checkpoint.
So,
Yeah.
the save. Just to be
it's
safe.
nothing like Braco's game room.
And thank you all for joining. Thank you, etc., for coming back. And just for letting us know you're alive still. That's great. Thank you, Will. Thank you, Alduin, for joining me on this and trying to wrap up what has been a project that's 5 years in the making.
Of course.
And see you all next time.
We're getting close to the end, I think, actually.
Yeah.
To Dark Cloud for saying thanks for everybody.
Good night, guys.
See y'all.